What does it mean when he pulls out and the condom's still inside of you?
Her face.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
What does it mean?
It means that you were artificially inseminated.
I don't get it.
You were artificially bred. I don't know, or something. It just means,
It's just a question.
there was no benefit to that blow.
Okay. Has that ever happened to either of you?
No.
It has
Never happened to me.
No.
Well, I mean, the whole condom is not in there. Obviously, you have this the flap, right? And then you just have to like wiggle it out, and you're like, oh wow, that was a big load. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to another episode of GayTalk 2.0, an LGBT podcast. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel for all of our Patreon supporters, and we thank you for that. My name is Tom, and I'm your host, and as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing co-host, starting with the first one.
Hey, y'all. Nick or Trish.
And
J-Bear, a.k.a. Boyfriend's Boyfriend.
And welcome you all to Gay Talk and our dish. Oh my God, Jay, where do you come up with this stuff?
You guys complain I'm always online looking at videos, don't you?
So here's the thing.
We don't complain.
We
It's
don't
just
complain.
an observation.
Right.
Yeah.
So we start the show, and by the end of the show, when we go look at our phones, we have about 20 different. Well, they're all the same video, but they're on 20 different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram,
Facebook, text message.
TikTok.
I don't have TikTok, thank God.
Oh my God. And then what's the other one? Twitter or no, X.
X.
It's X now. Yeah.
I don't send messages
Messenger.
on X. I just,
Messenger.
yeah.
Right. What's the other one? Threads.
You know, I used to get excited when I get like a message on Facebook, like somebody wants to actually talk to me, and I'm like, oh, it's Jay. I don't even look at it.
I don't know.
It's hilarious
ignore.
though. Is this an addiction for you? Like, do we have to have like a video
I
intervention?
guess that's me staying out of trouble somewhere, you know?
How? Because then you start sending this stuff. Like, have you ever sent a meme or a video meme that you find online and like people like take offense to it?
Hasn't happened yet, and if they do, oh well.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, I had one time I had a person said, "Oh my God, that's horrendous,"
And that was that.
and I just LOL'd and kept moving.
They didn't block you? Yeah, because
Not yet,
you be
yeah.
sending some stuff and I'm just like, oh my God.
Well, yeah, I've gotten to the place in which I won't open them up unless there's nobody in my office or I'm not at work.
Yeah, you should,
Right.
You should know that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you receive a video from Jay, just don't open it if you're around other people.
Did I ever tell you about that time my coworker saw a dick pic on my phone?
Yeah,
It
we
wasn't
actually
mine,
we
by the
talked
way.
about this
It
because
was
you
not
Snapchatted her.
No, that was a different coworker.
Oh. Oh, so this is a pattern now.
No.
You need to learn how to hide your
It
pictures.
hasn't happened in a long time, but no, what happened was...
Okay, well, tell us what happened,
What
please.
happened was I was showing something to my coworker on my phone, and then I got a text message from a suitor at the time, but it wasn't a text message, it was a dick pic. And I was like, the only thing I said to her, I looked at her, I was like, it's not mine! Like, I can't control it! Like...
It's like,
It was an accident.
God.
There's actually a short clip of, and it says when you're showing your coworkers pictures on your cell phone, and the clip is the guy showing female coworker some picture. And he's like, "That's my daughter, and that's my cat, and that's my dick, and that's." It's like, oops.
No, like
It's actually really dangerous.
Yeah, it is. So what I do now is like I go through my photo album, and I select all of my saucy pics and I hide them.
Yeah, I have an app for that.
Well, no, you don't even need an app. You
I
can
know.
do
well,
it right
now,
from.
Well, now it's an available option, but before it wasn't.
Oh, right.
So I had an app. So I have an app with 2 subfolders.
Yeah, I used to have an app called The Vault.
What is it, like
the vault.
boys and girls?
No. Me
They and
me
them?
and Chasers. Me and Chasers.
Chasers. Yeah, no, but you're right. It is very, very strange to be swiping through your phone or just handing somebody your phone and they'd be like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh my God."
I'm always nervous to hand my phone to people.
I don't.
And there's not like a lot of stuff on there really, but I think I've been traumatized by like the dick pic problem.
Right. So and it's interesting to see how different generations deal with the matter differently of receiving, right?
Dick pics
or naked pictures. Like some people like us, Generation X. I think you're
I'm a millennial.
You're a millennial, okay, but you're an earlier, like you were 87.
She's a millennial X,
87.
a millennial X.
So no, you're definitely a millennial.
Yeah,
You're like,
millennial.
oh my god, like 5 or 6 years into the millennial,
Something like that.
which is fine. But you've been hanging
I'm
around.
glad you approve.
You've been hanging around with Generation X long enough to understand that it's like just
Fuck it.
fuck it, caution.
Caution to the wind. Yeah.
Right. It's like
Well, the difference now is like, well, when it comes to stuff like that in the workplace, right? Because like that should have never happened, right?
right.
Like back in the day, like it would have been like whatever, right? Like, but now with like, it's like you tell somebody that they didn't do a great job or to redo something or that they're not accomplishing their tasks on time and they go to HR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
Or if you go,
I'm lucky that coworker is also a friend of mine, right?
right. But
So,
see,
like,
that's the danger, though. Like, be careful with people who you consider friends at work because that could backfire. For example, she accidentally saw a dick pic that came through a text message that she wasn't supposed to see, right? And let's say, for example, you had to give her feedback and she didn't like it. She's going to go to HR and be like, well, he was showing me dick pics on his phone.
No, she wouldn't, but yes.
That's what happens.
No, you make a very valid point.
And because they're like, oh, you're trying to fuck me over. Well, guess what? I have something on you, even though I understand that wasn't on purpose, right? It was an accident, which could happen really to anybody. But different generations handle that type of stuff differently. Like, we're like, whatever. It's a dick. We all have one. Get over it. But today's, youth is all about, oh, you send me an unsolicited dick pic and it's against the law, right? It wasn't against the law.
And I just took my sexual harassment training again.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't do anything anymore.
No.
Yeah.
When I first took sexual harassment training, when I first moved here, it was in person, right? So I went to this thing and I took the sexual harassment training. And at one point, the guy was like asking people around the room, like where they work, oh, I work for blah, blah, blah. I work for blah. I'm like, oh, I work at Long Wharf Theater. I work in theater. And they're like, oh, this is different for you. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean?
Because theater also can.
You have to see
can
people
entail,
naked.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah. Well, but it's more common if there's a specific show. For example, with what's his name, Daniel Radcliffe and the play
And
he did.
Equus, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a difference when it comes to certain jobs. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, it's true.
So-
It's true.
This moves, right?
I know it moves.
Oh, I'm just making sure
Oh,
because
why,
he's adjusting.
I'm not loud enough.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Oh,
I'm just making sure.
Anyway,
So,
You got
I
some
don't know.
runoff?
so one question for the group. What was that?
Yeah, so you got some runoff in your ears? No.
Probably. So I have a question for the table. So who's your person?
What?
Who's your person? So if you died today, who are you trusting to go through your digital life and destroy everything that no one should be looking at?
My boy, my best friend is definitely
Who's that?
Tony.
Okay. And you? Who do you have?
Probably Pat.
Pat. Yeah, for me it's Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see-
I mean, I'd let you do it too, but no, actually, I wouldn't because you'd be like, I'm saving this shit.
Saving this shit.
And I'll be dead, and you'll be like, you'll find a way to text me in heaven if I go there. And you'll be like, bitch, remember like 5 years ago?
Uh-huh.
And you'll send it to me.
I'm not PA. Okay.
Girl,
First of
have
all.
you seen my contact photo on your phone?
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
What does it say?
What?
Like this? Like I talk too much? Shut up.
No. My contact photo in your phone.
Oh yeah,
his
but
picture.
that's personal. Only I see that unless we're talking about it and
No,
I
we
show
have been
somebody.
at plenty of places, and you've been like, call my phone, Nick. And you show everybody the picture.
Because we're talking about it and people need to understand, right? But you should see the one he has of me.
Yeah, but you posed for that.
Like I'm all like really Janet Jackson. Like I have my breast up like this and it's hilarious.
We
It's
were
fun.
FaceTiming, and he was in the shower, and he was playing with
And
the
I was like,
boobs.
and then of course he snapped.
Of course I did.
So you're a person. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think so. So you do realize that if you have a person, listen up, it is very important that they have access to your device, right? So that they can get into it. So either you share your password with your person, or in today's, day and age with the newer versions of the iPhones, you have to have a Face ID for them. Like record them as a Face ID on your phone or a fingerprint so that they can get in and do that for you. Because once mama gets to that phone, oh my God, if my mother ever like saw my hidden pictures.
Perfect. I have a perfect example.
Okay.
So when Matt passed away, and I'm pretty sure I told this story on the
Probably.
show. When Matt passed away, it was before, like, we started having iPhones, and they weren't like they are today. So he had a digital camera.
Right.
And when he passed away, his digital camera was in his pocket. And so the coroner took everything, and then it came back to the house. And I went over to the house, and I sat down at the kitchen table, and all of this stuff is there. And I grabbed the camera, and I start going through it. And then I'm like, oh, shit. I'm approaching. There was this one night where we got a hotel. I had been away for a while, and we got a hotel because we didn't have our own places. And we just, had fun all night long.
Went to town.
Yeah. And he took some photos of me lounging on the bed. I would say very provocative photos. And I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and his mom and dad are standing at the kitchen island. And I keep scrolling through the camera, and there it is, all of it.
Sprawled
out on the bed. And I literally went like this, and I looked at them, and they're like, yeah.
They had
already seen it?
They had already seen it. And I was like, oh. And then his dad tried to make it better by saying, like, we know why he loved you so much. And I'm like, oh, my God, Mike. And I was like, oh. And so...
Well, that
I was like, can I take the camera and just download the photos and then give you the ones that aren't bad back?
So that was a compliment if one ever existed.
I used to be very twinky, and
you
things were tight and high and tight.
Well, they're still high and tight. You are big boned. That's it. That's all.
Well, I wasn't big boned back then, so I don't know what that means.
So your bones get bigger. You didn't get fat. Your bones just got bigger. That's all.
Oh, Jesus. Anyway, so we did have, I do want to share that we had an interesting weekend.
We did?
We did, yeah.
What kind of interesting weekend?
Jay and I took Tom shopping.
Oh, she was such a diva. That Tom, don't ever go shopping with Tom. She's horrible. I don't know why I'm talking about myself.
It wasn't too bad.
So here's the thing. I haven't been to a mall in over 20 years for a reason, because large crowds and a very, very large selection of stores in a very short or very small square, in very small square miles of space make me very anxious and nervous, and I start sweating. I start getting fidgety, panicky, and these bitches brought me to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Prior to the mall, we had already been to 2 different stores.
We had been to 2 different stores.
Mm-hmm.
Jay and I were chill, and we were like, oh, we like this, we like this, we like this. We bought a few things. This one was just going through it. Couldn't find anything that she liked. Couldn't find anything that looked good on her. And I was like, it's okay. We'll be fine. We'll just go to the next store, and we'll find something there. If not, we'll go to Macy's. It's not the end of the world. And he was just like going through it. And I could understand, you were having a difficult time finding something that fit you right and nice.
Right.
But did I say that we were shopping for Chris's wedding?
No. So yeah, we're basically shopping because, Chris Mattoon's wedding is coming up, and I needed to find something that was summery and nice. And as you all know from watching us on our live stream throughout the years, I am a shorts, jeans, and tank top kind of guy. That's it.
And sarong and underwear.
And sarong and underwears, and that's my whole attire. I live my life comfortable. I don't have. I do own a suit. 2.
3 now.
3. Well, 2 before this one we bought. That I've worn in different lifetimes ago, right? I remember my first suit that I got that I wore over 25 years ago when I had won, a gay pageant in Connecticut. The next suit that I owned was one that I bought when we went to the Grammys, and then the suit that we bought over the weekend. And yeah, it was an experience. I have to say that when I got home, I was nauseous. I was going through it. I was exasperated. I took a very, very deep nap.
Here's what happened then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we went to Boscov's,
Yeah.
Right.
which I've never been there before.
So I
Yeah.
think it replaces JCPenney's.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was fine. They had a lot of stuff. It was, department store, whatnot. But when we got there, I was like, all right, I need to get a bottle of water. So I'll be back. I ran to the food court. I came back. Tom has a vest. Nothing else, just a vest. And he's trying to build an outfit around this one fucking vest. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, no pants that match the vest. Nothing. I don't like. Where did this vest come from? Anyway,
It had paisleys on the back, and it was light blue, and I loved it. And I was like, and we need to find something that goes with this.
Yeah.
Because this is about the one piece of clothing that I love.
so basically, then what happened was, I saw another pair of pants in a different fabric. It was a linen fabric, but it would, it would have gone well. It was a light blue with a dark blue, and I was like, okay, just take this into the dressing room and try it on. He went into the dressing room, he tried it on, and then we didn't let him leave the dressing room for about an hour, and we just kept bringing shit to him.
Yo, were you there when that lady showed up? One of the employees.
No.
She was like, "Are you guys done with all this?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
We emptied an entire suit rack
Yeah.
out and just left it.
And so here I am. I'm
Sweating.
sweating like a pig, putting stuff on. I'm in the dressing room with the curtain open because at this point, I don't give a shit. I live my life in underwears and tank tops. If you see me, you saw me.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So now I'm just like, no, I'm throwing shit at them, and they're just hanging it up. No. I was such a diva.
Well, it actually worked out well because the first pair of pants that I got you liked.
Yeah.
Once you were in there. So we had a vest, we had a pair of pants.
Uh-huh.
And those pants had a matching jacket,
Which did not fit.
which did not fit, and they did not have your size.
Right.
So, all that said, we were thinking maybe we'll order the suit, right? Maybe we'll order the jacket. It takes 3 days to come in, whatever. So
So here goes the queens walking up to customer service.
And I'm walking around. I find a shirt to go underneath it, and I give it to him. I'm like, oh, I like this. The pink will go nice with this, whatever. And I put it in the thing. Then, of course, the jacket, nowhere to be found in any
Right.
store, anywhere in his size.
And you can't order it.
No. Luckily, the same suit he was wearing, there was one in beige. And so we ended up I was like, just try on the beige one. Looked great. We
Right.
loved the beige one.
Yeah.
And so he comes out and he's like, can you get a pair of black shoes so I can see what black shoes look like with this? I'm like, you can't wear black shoes with a beige suit.
And then he says to me, you need brown shoes for that. And I'm like, oh, God, we have to go to another store.
And I was like, it's fine. It's fine. There's a shoe store right around the corner. Like, I'm in my element. Like, I got this.
Then he makes me walk through the mall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have been okay if we walked outside and walked into another store without having to go through the mall.
And all he's saying is, oh, you're going to take me to that store where they upsell everything and then they say it's on clearance for 50% off? I'm not going to find anything there. I'm not going to buy anything there. It's going to be I'm not spending that much money on shoes.
So we walk in and I pick up what I believe are a $100 pair of shoes, right? Stay with me. Let's do the math. They're $100. That's all the shoes are worth. They were marked at $199 with 50% off, and they would have been $99 anyway. I was like,
So you saved $1.
But they were on clearance. They were originally $199.
no, they should have been $99. And I should have walked out the store with those brown shoes for $50.
Technically, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, they're
I
not
see.
worth $199. I'm
You're-
sorry.
You're not getting scammed. Anyway, Jay came through hardcore and found a non-clearance shoe that was less money,
Yeah, it's $89.
and it was perfect. And he's like, I can't wear these shoes. They're too casual. I'm like, it'll be perfect with your fucking outfit. What are you talking about? Tries on the shoes. The shoes look good. We love the shoes so much. Jay and I bought a pair. And then the next morning, after all that stressing and all that, I'm not gonna buy any. I'm like, why are you taking me to the store? He sends a photo of him all dressed up with the shoes on, and we were like,
Perfect.
Perfect. You look great.
Why, thank you. Thank you, darlings.
We couldn't do anything about the face, but the suit.
Do you see what I got to
We
do?
did the best we could with what we had to work with.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm very pleased with the suit. The whole experience in itself, was very traumatic.
Yeah, you overthink it.
It was very traumatic
You
for me.
overthink it.
I couldn't.
And then the first store we went to, Nick is like, "Why the hell did you bring me here?"
Oh
I
my
know.
God! I think it was
Why?
K&G.
Yeah. So
they're-
I
I like their stuff.
Yeah. So I had never heard of this store before, and I have to dress up for work a lot.
I've been going there for years. Yeah.
And so
I feel like you're gonna run into Nick in aisle 5
All the time.
with a lot of accidents.
I'm getting promotional emails all the
I
time.
accidentally charged
Another.
$300 worth of clothes here and walked
I
out with
would
9 suits.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
that's
like
the thing.
$300. You're gonna get 9 suits. Like we walked in this place, and I'm looking around, and this is like good stuff.
Those first suits we saw were all nice.
Yeah.
They just didn't have our size.
Right.
And that's the thing. They sell out quick.
Mm-hmm.
So they stock up, and they have some really cool stuff, but especially bigger people,
Yeah, it's like
they're there all the time.
it's like a thrift store, but brand new stuff
Yeah.
for cheap,
Yeah.
and it's nice.
Right.
And I looked at Jay, and I'm like, because I ended up walking out of there. I spent $100. I bought a pair of shoes, 2 shirts, whatever. I probably could have spent a lot more money.
Yeah.
But
Easy.
I looked at Jay after I picked up the shoes, and I was like, why the fuck did you bring me here? Because
He goes, what I spent today, I would have spent just in one shirt.
literally, I got a pair of shoes.
He's not lying.
I got a pair of shoes and 2 shirts, and normally that's like half a shirt
Yeah.
or a shirt. Like it's like for real. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. See, I fucked up. I fucked up because I knew that we had been planning the shopping trip for the weekend for a very long time. I have pills for the shit.
I have pills.
I
for this.
forgot to take them, and I was
It
all over
probably
the
would have been
place.
smoother. Yeah. Because you kind of, it wasn't so bad until we got to the mall.
Yeah, the mall
And
is
then
what
you
does
just
it
lost
for me.
your shit.
Yeah.
I was-
And then
I came back from getting that water, and I just see him. It was like
I've never seen Tommy sweat that much besides working in the backyard. Like he
Yeah.
literally has
I was-
sweat coming down his head.
I was hyperventilating. I was like
And I was
going
like,
through.
relax. And
going
he's like,
through it.
no, but let me walk over here and let me walk over there and let me walk. And I was like, dude, chill.
And I like Kenneth Cole.
Let's look at this. Yeah.
But I
I'm
walked
not-
back and I just saw 2 heads darting above all the like little stands, and I'm like, oh god, what's happening over there? Oh, he's got a vest. He got a vest.
And I'm like, and I like
I'm
Kenneth
kinda-
Cole,
yeah.
but Kenneth Cole don't make shit for big girls like me.
Yeah.
I used to be able to buy Kenneth Cole when I was a little girl.
Meanwhile, we're in. So he finally. What's great about it is it looks great. You're comfortable in it. It's lightweight.
Right.
It should be nice.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite parts was I brought you this pink shirt. And you put it on. It looks great with the outfit. And I was like, it looks a little tight. Do you want me to get you a size up? And he was like, no, I'm on Ozempic. I'll have 5 more pounds by then. It's like, okay.
You're not lying. And I just literally since Saturday, I dropped another 2 pounds. Yeah. So,
She's working on it.
I want to celebrate, and it's not like I'm starving myself. Oh my God. So Mama Kim sent me a text message. She goes, I hope you're really taking care of yourself and you're eating. It's just like, it's not like I'm starving myself.
Yeah.
So Jay, you know my journey.
Yeah.
The thing is, you get up, and before your whole world revolved around food. Right? You get up, oh my God, I'm starving. I need to get a cup of coffee, and I need to
eat
2
something.
eggs
Yeah.
and scrambled. It's like, and now after the Ozempic, I get up and I make my coffee, because coffee for me is life. I don't do anything. I can't
Same.
function without coffee,
Same.
right?
Yeah.
And then I sit down and I say, oh, I'm going to make myself breakfast in an hour, right? And then 5 hours go by and I'm like, oh, I haven't eaten.
Yeah.
You forget. It is the
because
weirdest.
your stomach isn't rumbling every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It is the weirdest shit
Yeah.
I have ever experienced
I
in
told
my life.
you. I told you from the get go. I was like, dude, you're gonna forget to eat,
And so,
and you're gonna have to check that, because it
Right.
can. I mean, when we went shopping,
Right.
I had a cup of coffee.
right.
We didn't eat till we get to Jack's house. What was that? 6 p.m.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was
we
just
left
like,
here at 1:30.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But,
was-
but that's all I had all day was a cup of coffee.
same.
And it wasn't like we were shopping and I was like, I'm starving. I need to eat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when we left and you were like, hey, we're going to stop by Jack's, I was like, you know what? I'm starting to feel
Yeah.
peckish.
Right.
It wasn't even like I was starving,
Yeah, no, it's
which is insane because by then I would have been so hangry and you wouldn't even be able to talk to
Yeah.
me in the back. Like, Shut the fuck up, feed me.
Like I was thinking, oh, these people are making this shit up. You know,
Yeah.
it's like no, legit, 100%. You forget. I remember the first time I took it, and I'm on the lowest dosage at that point. I've just been upped. When I first took it, I was like, I felt like somebody was tickling me from the inside out, and I'm sitting there at my desk laughing.
Been there before.
Oh yeah, laughing by myself.
It's been a while.
Like legit hard laughing because I felt like somebody was tickling me. It was a weird sensation. And then like I remember that day, okay, I said I have to eat. I went, made breakfast, ate it, and you know, I was fine. And then the next day I wake up and I had a cup of coffee and I forgot, and then I went outside and I started doing things. I started on Thursday, so it was Friday, Saturday, I started doing things, and all of a sudden I look at my watch, it's 4 p.m. and I have not eaten anything all day long. I was like, I'm not even hungry.
Exactly.
I
It's
thought
weird.
y'all were bullshitting. It
It's
is some
weird.
legit,
Yeah.
weird, fucking crazy shit.
And the thing is, it's not like. So the thing is that what it does is it slows down your stomach's ability to digest food quicker. So when you eat, technically everything kind of sits longer in the stomach. So you don't have that urge to eat because your stomach is still technically full.
Right.
You know what I
It
mean?
is
So
the
it's
weirdest
just
thing.
yeah, it's the weirdest thing. And if you overeat, if you eat and you're fine and you continue to eat because it tastes good,
Right.
you'll feel it. Like you really feel uncomfortable. It's like it's happened to me a couple of times, and I'm like, because that's when you start getting the nauseousness, and,
Right.
and all that
Yeah,
nasty
yeah.
feeling.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, sensible meal. You don't have to go crazy. I mean, and that's the thing. That's what helps you, because once you're eating, your body kind of tells you, hey, you're full,
Right.
right?
Right.
And a lot of times you're like, yeah, but I still got like half a steak left. Let me finish it.
Right. I'm looking at that meat. I'm like, oh my God, that looks so good.
So now I've
Yeah,
learned.
we used to just put things on Tom's plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like a
It
garbage
would
disposal.
disappear.
Are you kidding me?
So now it's like, okay, I can save this for later or tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So-
it's a big difference.
So, you know, to wrap up the story with a nice little pretty bow, the suit that we got was 5 pounds too tight, and we got it that way, shirt, vest, because with the understanding that I'm gonna be shrinking in the next week and a half before this wedding.
Well, you're halfway
So,
there.
Yeah, so she'll be fine. But you know, the good thing is, you know, when I started my Ozempic journey, I was 268 as far as weight, almost 270 pounds. And I yesterday when I weighed myself, I was at 252.
Proud of you, girl.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
it's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. So I'm excited. And so, Mama Kim, I am nourishing myself. I now have reminders. Get up, make yourself something, even if it's small. So now what I'm doing is I'm buying fruits, like cut fruits, cantaloupe. I think I went to Costco today and picked up like spears of freaking mangoes.
Yeah.
And so I will have like, let's say a scramble, and then I'll just sit there and eat like a cup of fruit. And that'll hold me over until like 1 or 2 o'clock. And then another reminder, eat again. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
and
growing-
even at that, sometimes if you're eating the fruit in between,
Right.
1 o'clock comes, you won't be hungry.
Right.
And that's the other thing. If you try to eat because you've had a little snack in between, your stomach
it's gonna be like, yeah, no, girl, that's not
No.
gonna work. So,
Yeah.
so it is, you know, I call it a magic drug because I haven't been less than 250 in 2 days, like in probably 15 years, less than 260. So it's exciting. It's exciting. So, but be mindful, you know, everything has side effects. I have been fortunate enough to not experience any of the side effects that people are saying that they experience when they first go on the drug. So I count myself lucky, but that may not be the case. Obviously, consult with your doctor before,
Yeah.
you know, you are trying different things and you know, and just be mindful of your body. If your body's telling you something, listen to it. This is not working, try something else.
Yep, Tom's halfway there to becoming a twunk.
Imagine that.
Mm.
I can really see my dick and penis now. That's
Oh
all I have
my
to say.
God.
All right.
Okay.
Trisha, darling, do you have anything else you want to bring up on the first half before we wrap up and go to break?
No, Pooper's been visiting for a while. It's been nice.
That's right. So, so when we say Pooper, we mean Raleigh, Nick's roommate's dog. That at one point in time you had a roommate, and Raleigh lived with you, and Raleigh has been. I'm her titi, and she comes and visits, and she's here in the studio with us. She's somewhere. Is she here or is she
I think
upstairs?
she went upstairs.
Yeah,
said, "Fuck
she's like,
these
whatever.
guys," yeah.
You gay people annoy me.
And she's like, I can't pee on this rug. He said so.
Yeah.
I got yelled at already.
So, all right. So that being said, then what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we have Dish. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gents, we are back from the break. We took a little longer than we were supposed to.
Did you hit record?
Yeah, I did. The music finished, and we were still missing. So our apologies for that. We were, doing all the things that we do on break. All the naughty things. But anyway, we are back. And of course, the topic of hand, or at hand, I should say, is the fact that, Joe Biden dropped out of the 2024 presidential race. We're living in literal history, because this is something that has never been done before, at least not in recent history, and where a sitting president doesn't run or drops out of a presidential race.
I told you they were doing something.
Well, no,
So-
it's technically it's not the first president.
He's not
But-
there in modern history, because if we go
modern,
back, I think it was Lyndon B. Johnson.
50-something years ago. was the
Yeah,
last
it's
person.
it's been over 50 years, and where someone decided they were not running. But nonetheless, we're living in history. I mean, when we think about what happened,
We also have two presidents that have only served
one term.
one term
right?
back to back, which I don't think has ever happened.
No, and
And I think the
well,
previous
George W. Bush was the last president. No, George Bush Sr. was the last president, only served one term.
Yeah.
Right, but there was nothing back to back, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, not like this. Not like this.
And I think the previous presidents that did not run for a second term were all VPs that stepped into their role.
Right.
So,
And
so it's not.
so-
they weren't president elect. Technically, they
Right.
kind of inherited the position.
Right. And when you
So
think about, for
it's-
example, when what's his name, the one that got indicted and he was about to get
Bill
convicted.
Clinton.
No. Clinton got impeached, girl. We're talking about Nixon,
Nixon.
right? So Nixon
Oh,
knew that
the
he was
Watergate, kind of like the shopping gate
Yeah.
we experienced this
Yeah.
weekend.
exactly. So no, I mean we are living in history at this very moment, because it's very unprecedented what just happened, and this all stems from that debate that occurred about 3 or 4 weeks ago, where unfortunately Biden was showing his age, and we're talking about two candidates, both literally, because the other idiot is about to be 80 in probably in a couple of more months. So we're talking about two octogenarians. Is that how you say it?
Octogenarian.
Octogenarians.
I don't even know what that word is.
It's people who are in their 80s.
Oh, okay. That
And
makes sense.
so two octogenarians that were literally
blonde
running
is
Two
showing.
octagons.
to
It's like, what the fuck are they talking about?
um
Some
that,
Hispanic shit?
that were running for the office, right? And so it goes to show you that this is serious. And so Biden made the decision to drop out on a Sunday, of no less, at 1:45 p.m. in the afternoon. And immediately the shift to attention shifted to Kamala Harris, right? Because
Who was in P-Town this weekend with?
with Pete Buttigieg, right? And so they were campaigning, and so there's a lot of speculation. But what we do know is that, Biden immediately after announcing that he was dropping out of the race endorsed Kamala Harris as his pick for the person to take up the mantle.
Which I thought was going to happen.
Right. And it should. It very well
Well,
should.
I had mentioned to you, maybe a week or 2 weeks
Right.
ago that I kept getting these text messages from the DNC asking me to fill out a survey regarding if he didn't run, who would I want to run, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have this feeling.
Right. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There was a lot of push from high-ranking officials, Democrats in our party, both in Congress and at the DNC, for Biden to drop out because his performance on that debate was abysmal. Right.
Yeah.
We have to admit that.
It hurt. It hurt.
It did.
That
I'm glad to hear you say that because you were kind of trying to champion him a little bit.
So here's the thing. I still think I am of the belief, and I may stand alone in this, or I may stand in the minority when I say this, but I still believe that that Biden would have won if he stayed in the race.
See, I think,
However,
I don't honestly, I don't know, and I honestly think
it was. There's so many more people that seemed very on the fence this election around than normal.
right.
And it's tough because look who he's running against, right?
Right. I mean, he's running against a
which you would think,
egomaniac.
which you would think it's it's
This-
a done deal, but
And again, I want to emphasize, I stand in the minority on this belief.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is what one could consider a Hail Mary move by the Democratic Party because at the timing of it,
Right.
all that Kamala has to do, including
We have 100 days.
yeah, and
left.
she hasn't really even announced a platform necessarily, right?
Well, her platform
but
is
she's-
pretty much going to be the same.
yeah, but she's got like a $50 million already raised, and
In less than
Yeah.
it's been insane. So it's been a roller coaster ride.
so any other Democrat that wants to run at this point
right.
really has they have a lot to catch up to right now.
Right.
If you look at it,
Right.
It's-
There was a lot of argument made that the fact that she was the running mate to a person who was seeking high office again for another 4-year term, and that she necessarily wasn't the one on the ticket. But that's technically not true because when Biden decided to launch his reelection campaign to go for his second term, he's launching that campaign with his VP.
yeah,
Right. And so the 15 plus million votes that were casted during the primaries, in a sense, were casted for both, not just Biden. Do you know what I'm saying? And so now
I mean, she also has to. She probably should announce her VP before the DNC.
I
I'm
think
hoping it's Pete.
it would have to.
So I love Pete. I
Right.
think he would be wonderful, but I'm concerned.
This is what I wanted to talk about. So yes. So before we go there, so now we know that the DNC has said, okay, in order for her to actually become the person that's going to be on the ticket, she has to get delegates. She has to have at least 600 delegates that are pledged to her before the DNC event for her to become the nominee.
Yeah,
Right. For her to officially be able to stand on that stage and say, I'm going to become the nominee. And then there's the question of the VP. Go.
So I have a concern
Mm-hmm.
that I think that this is an amazing moment, right? I
Right.
think the first
It would be historic.
female black president
Well,
would
she's-
be
It was the
She-
first female president, period.
and keep in
Female and
mind,
black.
she's already historic in a sense,
Right.
as
where
the
she's
first
been the first black female
VP.
African American and Pacific Asian
Pacific
Asian
Islander.
Pacific,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So that on its own, Senate seat, VP at this
Right.
point, right?
Mhm.
She's made strides, a lot of major
Right.
strides in since 2011.
I think she
But
came around. She
11-ish
came
or
around the
so?
scene in 2008. So
Yeah.
she was Attorney General for the state of
Yeah.
California for
That was the
2
other thing I was
consecutive
missing.
terms.
Yeah, exactly.
She then became the junior senator for the state of California shortly after, and then she then ran for president herself
Yeah.
on
She-
her own
well,
accord,
yeah, she
Right?
had and then she withdrew.
and then she
And
withdrew and
gonna
supported
it
Biden.
was a 2020, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the
For the
2020 election.
presidential-
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Pete Buttigieg was in there. Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Bloomberg was in there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think they would be a great ticket. I also think that they would be a very far left ticket.
Yeah.
Not necessarily far left. So here's what I think, and I know
Well,
where you're going with this.
I think it would be considered far left, even though Buttigieg is very even keeled.
Right.
And I think he rides the middle ground very well.
Right.
He is a gay man, which I support 100%. Right. I do.
Right.
I think it would be a great ticket, but I worry, especially considering who we're going up against and the temperature of the current country,
Yes.
if it's the smart ticket.
Right. And I don't believe it is. Right. Like you, I would love for it to be Pete, and I would love for America to say we're going to embrace the first, black woman that also happens to have, Pacific Islander, Asian descent, or Indian descent, who's already made history on her own right by being elected vice president, the first woman, the first black woman, the first, Indian woman. There's so many firsts for her election. The first second man that ever existed, right? With her husband, he would be the first man.
Husband, what do you call it? First man?
I think it's first husband.
The first husband,
of the-
he's currently the second husband because he's the husband of the vice president, right? Okay. So it's already historic, the fact that she is where she is, that she was elevated to that position on its own. The fact that she is now the contender, the top running contender for the presidency, makes it even much more historic because she's making history yet again, and it hasn't even been 4 years. Mm-hmm. This roller coaster of a ride. I mean, when you talk about the assassination attempt, the bipartisan calls from Congress right now to have the director of the FBI resign happened today. They had a hearing today. It was incredible. So many things are happening so fast. So you know how, for example,
It's true.
there's a saying that says history is made, it takes decades to make history, but in today's world, literally history is being made every week.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And to go back to your point, I would love for Pete Buttigieg to be her running mate, right? To be named vice president and to be ascended to that office and to see a member of our community be elevated to such an office. He's already historic in his sense on his own. The fact that he is, he was appointed to be the secretary of transportation, right? And
which a lot of people don't think he did a good job.
But he did. It's like a lot of people don't think, but look at the facts. But irregardless to that, I don't think that adding Pete Buttigieg at the moment, being an openly gay man who's married, who has a family, and we support that, we love it, would be the ideal thing to tag on to the fact that we have a woman running against an egomaniac, right? Happens to be a black woman of color. And then also adding the gay element to it. Mm-hmm. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't think that the majority of America
is ready for that. And I think the sad truth is
right.
And I think the reason we're having this conversation, right, is because of who we're up against.
Exactly.
We have to be so strategic.
Exactly.
Should it be Kamala and Pete? Yes, I think it should. But can we win?
That's
the question.
Right? And they are, they're coming up with a short list. I do think it would be smart. Pete, mayor of Indiana, like that, being in that Bible Belt, like type, getting a Democrat from that demographic would be great. That would be the smart thing to do. I just don't know if
not to mention the man is a beast, like at debates.
Yeah, no, he would be great. He's great. Like,
the man has all the qualifications to be president of the U.S., and I believe he's young enough that we will see a day where Pete Buttigieg will run for president, and I'm predicting this right now today, and he will be elected president.
I think so too.
I believe it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Republicans like Pete too,
Right.
because again, I think he rides that middle ground very, very well, and he's very articulate. He does not react.
Right.
He is very proactive in all of his speeches and all of his debates. He's very thoughtful in what he says. And he does really care, and he's very like genuine. And honestly, when you witness him, it's not like if I were to run, right? If I were to run, everyone would be like, oh, he's like his gay is showing, right?
Oh, your gay would show
Exactly.
100%.
Like he has a way of
Move, girl, I'm running.
Yeah. Bitch, move, I'm gay.
Move out, I'm gay.
Move, I'm gay. But like I think they have to really think it through. I think it could work, but I think they have to be really
it's a hard
strategic
sell.
about it.
Yeah.
But I also don't necessarily think that they should just pick a white male Democrat
I disagree on that point.
just because.
So I disagree on that point. It has to be somebody that has enough credibility in the party, one, but also credibility with the American people. So that being said, there's a lot of names that are being thrown out there. Gretchen Whitmore. She is the governor of Michigan. They attempted to assassinate her. They were going to go to her house and kidnap her. This was right around 2021 after the, January 6th. They literally, there was a plot that was actually foiled that they were attempting to actually kidnap her in her own state. Trump supporters. So they're mentioning her. They're mentioning the governor of California,
Which
Gavin
I don't
Newsom.
think would be a good choice.
Absolutely not. There's a lot of other people that are thrown out there, but I wanted to ask, do you think there's anyone else that you know of in the political spectrum that would probably be inappropriate, I would say, at this point, given the temperature of the country, that would be an ideal candidate for her VP choice? I mean, I have one, but,
Who do you have?
So, Jay, do you have anyone?
George Santos. No.
Oh my God, that queen! So very quickly before we get derailed, that queen literally went on a publication and said that these Republican gay people need to hurry up and come out because that whole disaster of Grindr shutting down in Wisconsin.
Again?
No, that was the one they were doing the
Didn't it happen in
RNC.
Washington, D.C.?
Yeah, it did. He was like,
but that's what I'm
these
saying.
queens need to come
Again.
out. She was like, I got receipts. So she said. But anyway, so I think there's a lot of people that, she could pick. It could be 2 women on a ticket. It could be, which I would think it's disastrous. Don't do it. You're already a woman of color. That's going to be an uphill battle. I would secure the black vote, which is very important.
You don't
and
think
very
2 women on the ballot would get a win?
No.
Why?
I think it's too much. Just like we're talking about the thing with Pete. It's kind of like the same.
2 women on the ballot?
No, but it's the same concept, right?
Yeah. I think in this day and age, we really have to think outside the box.
It's hard to do that when you work in a cube, but
So,
sure.
One of the names on the short list is Josh Shapiro.
So he is the governor of Pennsylvania.
I think he might be a really good option.
Yeah.
I think a better option for her, would be Kelly.
Mark Kelly?
Mark Kelly from Arizona. Military guy, decorated military guy. He is, he's been in the Senate now for quite some time. He's been doing a lot of good work. He is the senator, the senior senator.
What about Beto?
From a state, no. I mean, the guy couldn't even beat Rubio.
I liked him a lot.
Who's the senator from Texas? It's not Rubio. He's Florida. Oh my God, the one that went to
I don't know.
Cancun.
You're asking.
Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
Yeah, he couldn't even beat Ted Cruz. Came close but couldn't. It wouldn't work, and he's tied at the moment too much to immigration, being from San Antonio, and that is just that's a disastrous subject for Democrats right now. I think that Mark Kelly, decorated veteran, astronaut, right, worked with NASA, very accomplished, has been in Congress for quite some time and made and has been part of the passing of significant legislation, including a lot of the things that have happened in the past, to pass legislation on infrastructure, the economy, which, by the way, has been one of the best economies in the past 50 years. Have to say that.
Oh my God, you just gave me such Trump vibes when you just did that. By the way, have to say it.
Because, I mean, people ignore facts, but, we're living in one of the best economies that we've had in the past 50 years and the lowest unemployment rate that we've ever had in history. And people, still think that the economy is bad. So, yeah, that had to be said. But the fact that you compared me to Trump.
You should have seen yourself when you watch back that video.
By the way.
No, it wasn't even that. You were like, and gotta say, like, the best economy in years.
It's huge.
So this is what they're saying, top 10. What is this?
Let me finish my point, Mark Kelly.
Yeah.
And the last thing I will say is the assassination attempt on his wife.
Yeah.
Gabby. Right? She was running. She was.
See, I don't know that much about this guy. So.
She was a congresswoman. They shot her. She had a very low. They shot her at a campaign event, and she had a very long road to recovery.
Oh right, yeah, I remember this.
Gabby, I forgot her last name. I don't think it's Kelly. It's weird, but he's the husband, and then he went into politics. Giffords, thank you, and got elected. And he's an astronaut. I think that he has the pedigree that we need to attach to Kamala to get her to that finish line.
I mean, I think there are a lot of really good
you were
options,
saying top 10. Sorry.
All right, no. So here's what they're saying as the top 10 possibilities for VP. Right. Number 1, Pete Buttigieg.
Love him.
Yep.
I wish it would. I wish it would be, but I think we
Gavin
would not.
Newsom is number 2.
No.
Number 3, they're saying Andy Bashir.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it's. So here's the thing. He's from
Kentucky governor.
He's a Kentucky governor.
Kentucky, and won 2 consecutive runs that he's already won for the governorship with 60+ numbers.
Yep.
In a very deep red state.
Yes, exactly.
Gretchen Whitmer.
Right. She's the governor of Michigan.
Yep. JB Pritzker.
Yeah. JB. Oh, JB.
From Illinois.
He would be great in the sense he is Trump adjacent in the sense that he is the heir to the Hyatt hotel
chain. Yeah.
He's a Democrat?
Yeah. No, he's done great stuff. He's got a great platform, gun control, reproductive rights, all that stuff. And I think that he could be a powerhouse in the sense of bringing that
corporate America,
that demographic
right.
to Kamala's side. But I just don't know. I don't know. I'm torn about JB.
Who else?
Josh Shapiro.
Yep. He's the governor of Pennsylvania.
Roy Cooper, who is North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was, I forgot who it was.
He actually beat a Trumper in the last, he just got elected.
I forgot who it was that they asked today about joining Kamala as her VP. And he's an older senator. And he was like, no, this is not. He said, this is not my time. I can't forget. I can't remember his name right now. It might have been him.
Yeah.
West Moore, African American, Maryland.
Yeah, 2 black people on a ticket right now. I can deal with Kamala and her being black.
West Moore,
I think that the ticket also really needs to focus. The VP needs to be from a red state. They have to be they have to be from a red state
or a battleground state.
Yeah, that can make a difference. A swing state, like something.
Elizabeth Warren, she's from.
I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Elizabeth. Yeah, no, do not.
Amy
Klobuchar. She's the senator. She's a senior senator from New York,
Minnesota. No.
Minnesota. Yeah, she is from Minnesota. Okay,
Minnesota.
Amy's fabulous. I love her, but she ran for president too. She had her presidential campaign. She's the one that was actually in
remember who
Minnesota
she
with the
is.
snow.
Mm-hmm.
She was in a snowstorm.
I don't think she's the right.
Yeah, no. She's great in Congress. Stay there, girl.
Yeah, and I think that was the last one that came out.
I think I'm like honestly, if it were me,
They didn't mention Mark Kelly in that?
yeah, they
No.
did.
They did?
No, Kelly.
Oh well, he's definitely one of them.
Yeah, I think he should be.
So I think I do agree. I think Mark Kelly's a good choice. I think Andy Bashar is a really great choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think I'm torn about JB Pritzker, but I'm still torn about Pete Buttigieg as well. So
Yeah. No, the ideal thing, I mean,
or Josh Shapiro again.
Right.
Pennsylvania is always
Josh
that battleground.
Right.
The same
Josh I
Bashar
like.
received 36% to Trump's 40%. Whitmer generated 36% to Trump's 41%, and Pritzker had 34% support compared to Trump's 40%.
Right.
So
It's-
they've got quite a bit. I mean, they're up there. It's not. I see you looking at me. It's.
I know it's hard to read and put things in your mouth at the same time.
But it's a close race.
Right.
It's not like they're really far off when it comes to when it comes to these numbers. It's it's close.
Right. But one thing that is not amiss is the re-energification. Is that a word?
No.
Re-energize.
Re-energize.
So when you look at how re-energized the Democratic Party is after Biden dropping out of this
Re-energification. That's a new
Yeah.
word we made up at GayTalk.
What,
All right.
what was the
works.
last one that we made up?
Oh God.
Difficulties.
Yeah,
So
true.
re-energification is going to be the new one. Okay.
That's just such a mouthful. Though.
Yeah, I know, but it just
Isn't it?
rolls off my tongue really well. So the re-energification of the Democratic Party is evident. Like as the moment that Biden said, "I'm dropping out and I'm endorsing Kamala," you've seen a very, very large positive reaction on social media.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But yeah.
But finish that thought.
Yes, and it has been very positive. There's been a lot of people that came out in a positive way, right?
Right.
But it's one of those yes ands because of the 100 days, right? How
Right.
close we are. Is it reactionary or is it support? Is it
Well,
we
here's
can't lose
the
this
thing.
office?
Right. We can't lose this office,
Right.
and we're going to stand behind the candidate put forward. And if that happens to be Kamala, it's not lost on me that she is decades younger. So here's the argument that they were making with Biden, right? He's old. He's feeble. He can't put a sentence together. He can't do this. He can't do that. Right. The whole issue that the Democratic Party had was the fact that this is an old man. We want someone young. Now you have someone young. And who's old now? The person on the other end of that stick.
Trumpster.
Right. And so now you can shift the narrative. This is an easy win for the Democratic Party if they play their cards right.
So according to the according to the New York Post, Harris has collected more than half of the Dem delegates needed
Right.
to clinch the nomination,
Right.
and the Harris campaign flooded with record-breaking $81 million in donations in the first 24 hours.
Right.
After Biden dropped out.
Wow.
And it's
So
insane.
You,
It's insane.
You gotta see the support, right?
Yeah, no, it's
Behind
there.
it, off
And
the
not,
bat.
not to mention that
Yeah.
not only does she generate over $81 million
Yeah.
in support in
24
24 hours,
hours,
she has the backing of whatever it was that Trump has raised thus far.
Yeah.
She has the backing of the DNC.
Trump has raised.
Excuse me. Oh my
Biden.
God, Biden has raised thus far. She has
What
that
does he
backing.
do with the money with what he raised? Does he just give it to Kamala? Because he can't.
Yeah.
It's not like he can use it.
Right.
Yeah,
it
it
goes
would
to
have to go to
Kamala.
her.
Yeah, it goes to her.
Hmm.
And then she can use that money to continue to campaign and do what she needs to do for next. But there's a lot of things that need to happen. And, the most important part is one, understanding how critical this election is and what is at stake, and her platform, right? For the past 3.5 years, right, since we've had Biden and Kamala as a team in the White House, her main focus, or what she has been tasked with, is going after abortion rights, right? speaking about the impacts of the overturn of Roe v. Wade, which is honestly a winning argument for the Democratic Party. And I think that if she sticks to that, stay away from immigration, stay away from all of these, questionable things. If she sticks
she won't put immigration. I don't know.
She has to.
Specifically on the platform, but she can't steer away from it. I mean,
she can't steer. She's the voice of it. She has been for the past 3.5 years. That's what she's been going out.
I'm talking about immigration.
Well, no, she can't steer away from it, but it shouldn't be a main focus for the campaign in the next 100 days.
Exactly.
Like, we understand that there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. That's just not a topic that you need to be bringing up at any of your campaign events between now and Election Day. Stick to abortion, and you've got a winning cause. Because let me tell you, women are energized, and the fact that you have a woman
I'm gonna give you a quick my 2 cents on this nonsense. Why the fuck is there even any laws in place that have to do with women's reproduction or anything? There's nothing in place for men,
right?
In any fucking source of government. So why is that even an option? Why is that even still being discussed?
We're gonna clip your nuts, Jay. You're done having kids.
Girl, I don't mind that as long as everything else works.
No, yeah, I agree.
Gotta
You
hold
shoot
that
blanks for the rest of your life.
Yeah. But I think it's fucking asinine. And again, we're discussing women's rights,
Right.
and their fucking body, and there's 90 fucking laws in place,
Right.
And I'm gonna play devil's advocate. If it's God's will for a woman to have a child, and they're trying to stop that, then it should also be God's will when you go fucking, you have erectile dysfunction and you need Viagra, then you shouldn't fucking need the medication.
Right. I'm sorry. It's God's will that your dick doesn't work for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. So I mean, we have to really.
No, it's a very.
It's a catch-22. I think it's bullshit. Period.
Yeah, I agree.
Men have no business regulating women's bodies from a regulatory perspective at all.
That should be done and over with.
And that's a winning cause for her.
Absolutely.
And the other thing I want to see a debate.
Yeah.
I want to see a debate, and you know why? Because you're talking about
Maya Rudolph is so excited right now.
Oh my God, I cannot wait for Saturday Night Live. But I want to see a debate between the two of them because you're talking about an egomaniac, sexist, misogynistic, crazy psychopath person they're not even like tendencies. This motherfucker is like wants to be Hitler reincarnated. Go up against a black woman, decorated, smart, educated prosecutor, and he is a 34-count indicted and prosecuted felon.
I think you just like saying that.
To have them on the same stage going at each other, I would live for that.
Well, it's gonna happen.
Popcorn and everything. I think it needs to happen. I would put it on my outside projector and everything, and we're gonna sit outside with massive speakers and we're gonna watch it and listen to it. Because I think that woman would sweep the floor with that man.
Well, I mean,
She's done it.
Yeah, and I think again, Trump kind of.
They've never debated before.
Yeah, they did.
No, they've never debated before.
Really?
No, she as the VP debated Mike Pence.
Oh, right.
And I think Trump has gotten a one up on Biden because of his bullshit, and unfortunately Biden hasn't brought his A game.
Right.
And Trump has capitalized on that.
Of course.
And I think with Harris, he's gonna meet someone that's gonna have a response to his
Who's
nonsense.
younger? Who's the old one now?
Exactly.
Right.
And I think he's gonna have to rethink his strategy.
Right.
Because right now,
but he doesn't really have a strategy, right? Because when he
pointing out faults.
Even at the RNC, he his people gave him a speech. He didn't stick to it, and everybody's fucking hating him for it. It was so bad.
There are people in the crowd wearing patches on their ears in support.
Did you see the lady with the tampon?
Oh my God! With the Kotex?
Yeah, with the Kotex pad on her ear.
So it kills me because it's like they're making this thing a thing. Like there's people out there that were at the RNC that had patches in support of the president, of the former president, because of his attempted assassination. And I think that's the only thing he's got going for himself right now, the fact that they attempted to assassinate him, and he's going to milk that to no end.
Oh yeah, they're going to try and write it and use that as a platform to try and gain those wins,
Right.
you know, and there are people that are all for it, and I understand that. You cheer for who you cheer for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The only concern I have is obviously the ultra left people, the ultra like, you know, left side of our party that, you know, would prefer like a Bernie and you know, free health care for all, which I believe we'll get eventually. We're just not there yet. Just buckling down and not doing what they're supposed to do. It's not time to do that. You know, so it's calling on the AOCs and you know, the Talibs and all of these other, you know, like really far left people to sort of kind of say, we're 100 days out from one of the most consequential elections in our lifetime. It's not time to start, you know, hacking at a potential person that could, you know, put this man finally to rest. Because I hope that this will be the last election that we will ever have to hear the name Donald Trump.
Oh, God.
Ever again.
Yes.
Because if he loses now and he chooses to run 4 years from now, I'm going to like literally lose my shit.
It's a possibility. I mean,
it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, but
so you went on our Insta and posted. He's like, so he sent us a text. I'm sorry, I'm speaking for all of us, but we're with her, and posted Kamala's picture.
I did.
Absolutely.
You know, no, it's you have to get behind your nominee.
I woke up to messages from my family this morning because I posted it on my personal too.
Oh,
honestly, like I was talking to a couple of people today, and a lot of people are like, "This is the first time I've been excited for this election." I think that a lot of people that were supporting Biden are feeling far more confident. I feel,
of course,
yeah,
and they
I
should.
feel like
I think that a lot of people that were on the fence are probably now making a better choice. You know?
yeah, and I do feel like there's a contingent of people that really don't like Kamala, and don't think that she's done a lot as the VP. But again, I said this to my dad. I was like, you know, the vice presidency is very much a real job.
It is,
but it's also the spare job.
Right. Well, I mean,
you're the spare, right? It's like you're not. They're not making policy. They're out there like.
That's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true, because when Biden was Obama's vice president, Biden was in the Senate for 35 years. That man knew his way around Congress in such an effective way that he was the person that Obama would send and say, make this happen.
What I'm saying is that you can't expect Kamala as VP to be making major waves, right? Making huge things happen.
She's not supposed to.
That's exactly. So like you may be disappointed in her role as VP or her progress as VP, but really, when did we really put the American people, when we think about the vice president, do we put that many expectations on the vice president?
No, we don't.
No, we hope the vice president is there and supports the president,
right? And his agenda and his
we
policies.
put a lot of pressure on the president,
right?
So I think that people that are in a way judging her or saying, you know, she was terrible or whatnot, it's like, shut the fuck up, give her a chance,
right?
Because like she has 100 days to prove herself to you,
right?
She will,
right? And she literally just came out and said, you know,
she came out.
No, she came out and said that, you know, I don't want to be handed this nomination. I'm going to earn it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she's going to call her people and say, you know,
but she was also in the back of her head being like, if that motherfucker doesn't give it to me,
oh, of course we're gonna fight.
If he doesn't endorse me,
I mean that would only be the obvious choice.
Yeah. And she's already had several speeches.
Less, yeah.
She's already had several speeches, you know, that have been very fiery, and I'm happy to see. I mean, there was a speech that she was on, and where she, you know, She basically said, I know the Donald Trump type. And I know exactly what she means when she says that.
Yep.
Right. And the reason why she's saying that is because I know what a sexual assault, a sexual predator is, or someone who assaults women. I'm just hugging my shirt.
What is happening over there?
So,
She's
and you know
getting
why?
excited.
Because during her time as Attorney General and during her time as a prosecutor, most of the cases that she prosecuted were sexual, offenders cases. And so, this woman would be on her A game. She knows what to do, and which is why I'm excited to see a debate between her and
Dump.
Yep. No,
So-
I think it'll be great.
So my message to the Democratic Party at this point, stand behind the candidate that is put forward. We have 100 days to make it happen. And this is a very consequential election. I mean, we've got the Supreme Court is already, there's potentially two retirements that could come our way with Alito and Thomas. And that could shift the tide from a perspective of the Supreme Court and also, democracy. So it's important to think about what the impacts have. It's time to put your enmities aside, regardless of what you think of our nominee. And if you are a Democrat, get on board and do what you have to do, because I'm going to tell you, the alternative is just not something that would benefit us in the least. So do it. Do what you need to do. Okay, so Jaybird, we did not put a on this day in gay history, so I'm just gonna give it. Is it finally there?
Not on my PC. But
Okay. So that being said, it is there. Okay, there it is.
Well, of course not on your PC.
Yeah, but you can
yeah.
Okay. Send them a screenshot of it.
I just did.
All right. So, we're going to wrap up for today. We're just going to say it's been a very historic and crazy past 24, 36 hours.
Can I just say one more thing?
Of
Because I haven't done that in a minute.
Yeah.
One more thing. Tommy wanted to close it out and make a point. I want to close it out and make a point too, is that not necessarily about Kamala, but on either side, when you're listening to some of the shit that people are spewing these next 100 days, make sure you don't take it and say it's fact.
Right.
Fact fucking check. Because if you look at some of the speeches that Trump has been putting out and the shit that he's been saying, half, if not 75% of 100% of it needs to be fact checked because it's not true.
Not only that, think about the component of AI. People are generating AI generated content on social media platforms that are absolutely false, that sound like they're real. They look like these candidates. Just make sure that you're getting your facts, people, from reputable news sources.
Anyway, I'm ready.
You ready?
Fact check. All right, everybody. Here's Mama Kim's Minute. Number 1, this reverend is proudly fostering queer spiritual community in a small city in Florida. Number 2, people are going wild for a possible Kamala Harris-Pete Buttigieg 2024 ticket.
Including us.
Yep. Number 3, queer rodeo hits the silver screen with national anthem.
Oh,
Queer rodeo.
queer rodeo. Gotta check it out. All righty. Moving on up.
Jaybird.
On this day in gay history, the year was 2011. The U.S. of A. A bill to repeal the Don't Ask, Don't Tell is introduced in Congress. When passed, it overturns the 1993 law prohibiting gay, lesbian, bisexual people from serving openly in the U.S. military.
About motherfucking time. And 4 years later, we got marriage equality 4 years later after that. So, and that was thanks to President Barack Obama.
I miss him.
I know, me too. All right, Jaybird.
Moving on, announcements. I guess so.
Yeah.
If you love the show, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as the episode is published. you can support us on Patreon. With Patreon, you, our listeners, can help to support the show with a pledged donation. The donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more. Nick, over to you.
All right, everybody. Thank you. All right, everybody. Get the Future Method and all other products today. All products are doctor developed, can clean out without hurting your bum. You can take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs. And now increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece anal glass dilation kit. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessory today.
Yes, queen.
And as always, it is time to put a ring on it. And our show is available on our website, GayTalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, and Stitcher Radio. Nick?
All right, you can find us on social media, and I'm actually posting every once in a while now. Facebook, GayTalk 2.0. Instagram, GayTalk 2.0. You can email us at GayTalk2.0 at GayTalk20.com. Tom, you're going to give it a try.
We are. All right, ladies and gents, if you would like to reach out to us, just head on over to our website, click on the Contact Us tab, which is located at the top of our web browser. There you can leave comments, you can suggest topics, you can submit a question for the cast or an individual host. You can also give us a ring, give us a call, and leave those questions on our voicemail. We can answer those for you on the show. Our phone number is 334-GAY-TALK, and if you need all of those digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget that we do stream live every Monday now for the summer. And you can access that live stream on our YouTube channel. If you're a Patreon subscriber, you get it the day of. If you are not, you get it the week after. But you can always listen to the audio version of the show for free. Ladies and gents, that is our show. I want to thank you all for joining us, and y'all have a good night. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.